Whenever I talk about this, sometimes people get mad at me. But you know what? It's my channel. I'm not gonna talk about what the Hey guys, it's Alexis here, and today I'm going to be talking about Yuki from Fruits Basket, but more specifically, a little speech that he gave that really resonated with me the first time that I watched Fruits Basket and also when I read the manga. This quote really resonated with me because it really verbalized something that I've been thinking this entire time, but I guess I just really didn't really know how to communicate. But it's definitely something that I truly agree with. So without further ado, let's get on the video. By the way, my shirt, it really describes me as a person. It says born to yap because that's all I do. I'm a born yapper. So for those who don't know, Yuki is a character from Fruits Basket. He's one of the 12 zodiacs. He's the rat. And this isn't a Yuki analysis video, so I'm not going to go into his entire life story. But like all the other Fruits Basket characters, he has very deep trauma from a few different things in his life, mostly Akito. But just, being part of the Zodiac is a traumatic experience for one reason or another. But there's something that Yuki said that really resonated with me. He makes a speech, and I'm gonna post the manga panel instead of the video clip of him saying it. But I'm gonna put the manga panel up, and what he essentially says is that, like, the whole learn to love yourself, it's kind of BS. Like, just people say that all the time, and it's kind of BS. And that he believes that loving yourself and liking yourself is only possible when someone likes and accepts you first. Once someone loves you, once someone likes you and accepts you, that's when loving yourself can become possible, is basically what he says. And that, I feel, is such a more mature and realistic, if I might add, outlook on life and when it comes to loving yourself. And I have personal experience with this because people tell me these things all the time, because I have a lot of issues and a lot of self-worth issues and in my inferiority complex. And people tell me these things all the time, and I try to explain to them my point of view, and they're just like, no, and that's not how that works, and you don't need nobody else, and blah, blah. And it's just frustrating how people can't understand where I'm coming from with this. Like, my perspective, and probably Yuki's perspective too, is like, if you don't, how can you see things about yourself if you don't have at least one person to see that thing in you? Like, for example, when you're young, your parents tell you all these things, or they may encourage you, or they may not encourage you. Actually, they may discourage you. They may tell you all these things, and that kind of gets you kind of internalize those things, and so that, in a way, that kind of makes you who you are. How do you realize these things about yourself if you've never had anyone to tell you these things? And I think that's where Yuki comes from too. How can you just love yourself if you clearly can't really see things in yourself, whether it be good or bad, if there's not some sort of outside or external force saying, hey, I see this in you, whether it be good or bad. That's honestly how I feel. How can I, as a person, love myself if no one loves me? In a sense, how can I see that there's anything good about myself if no one else can see that there's anything good about myself? Does that make sense? When you have that one person that says, hey, I like you, or hey, I see you, hey, I love you, then that is when it becomes possible. That is when you have your first, like, sigh of relief and that first breath of fresh air. And from then on, you can start your journey. This is my perspective. This is how I see things. But to me, that's how you can start your journey into accepting and loving yourself, when you have that one person who's like, hey, I see you. And of course, the rest of it is things that you can do on your own. You may have to see in yourself, or may have to, get whatever help that you need, or whatever may help you. But I feel like that, just having that one person see something in you and accept you, is the first step. But and honestly, I feel like that's a very mature take on things. That's very realistic. That we live in such a society where this whole self-love thing and confidence is so romanticized. Well, is that the right word? I don't know. I don't want to just, like, start spewing words. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we're living in that society where it's just like, oh, love yourself, oh, be confident, you know, you blah blah blah. But it's just not that simple. And I hate when people just tell me that. Like, it's not that simple. When you finally have that person that accepts you, when you finally feel like you have people that accept you, then that is when you can start the work on your own. I feel like it just takes one person. And Yuki said it best, honestly. Yuki said it best. Like, that whole learn to love yourself thing without anyone just doing it on your own. If that worked for you, fine. If that worked for you, that is fine. That's completely fine. But I personally feel like it doesn't work like that. But that's just me, honestly. And I wanted to get this off my chest for a while, because it really irritates me when people say that to me. Just love yourself. Just love yourself. Just look in the mirror and talk to yourself. Just love yourself. Like, no. How can I? Don't nobody love me. So how is it possible for me to love something that no one else sees anything in? If that makes sense. But that's the amazing thing about Fruits Basket. There's so many life lessons in there. There are so many things that have been verbalized that I've been thinking this entire time, but I just didn't have the words to say. And that's why Fruits Basket is goated. And that's why it is peak fiction, and that's why I love it so much. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. Just a little rant, honestly. Like, nothing too in-depth, because, I mean, we all know I'm a yapper. I'm just not good at talking too much about things in a critical way anyway. Or constructive, I mean. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about Yuki a little bit, and that was like probably his best quote in the series. But anyways, if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and in the comments, let me know if you agree with me. So yeah, take care of yourselves. Bye.